News Desk. The Pensioners Bondholders Forum is asking government to exclude their funds from the debt exchange program. Michael Papania-Shali has more in this report.
More opposition for government's debt exchange program. Just a few minutes ago, a group calling itself the Pensioners Bondholders Forum just appealed to government to exclude their funds in good faith, just as it did for the pension schemes. I'll be talking to some of the individuals that make up this forum. What is the backstory for them? How did they take the message from government to decide to go this way? Corti is one of the members of the forum here. Henry, so let me ask you, hearing the message from the minister, the communique from the ministry, that individual bonds were going to be added to the debt exchange program, how did that hit you?
Okay. Initially, when it came, he promised that individual bondholders are not affected. It looks like it's a way, in the law, a trick to work us in. That's the way I see it. Because how can you start your exemption from the individuals, and then later on, after some few days, you come back and say individuals are included? It's so bad. I will explain to you why it's so bad. I didn't work here. I worked in America throughout my life for almost 22 years. And the way I did my savings is to be saving my money, and I saved the money in bonds. Because you said you needed money, the bonds went to them, but we didn't come because you never only go to the bank, they advise you to do treasury bill or bond. After having done this for 22 years, I come back only to come and meet you telling me individual, you are going to use your money to pay an external debt. So it's not good in any way, because let me tell you, like you are saying, some of us are sick, some of us can fall sick. Like I'm saying, when I came back here, I've contacted Parkinson's disease. You have my money. You see, so like they are saying, they have to change it to me. If they ask me to suggest, they have to change it like our chairman is saying, include even those they have exempted, because it's a national issue.
As far as I'm concerned, they should just leave our money alone. If they send this country to debt, they should find other means rather than touching, the funds of pensioners. Like he said, it's about kenke and corn. So if what they did for the yet to be pensioners is the corn, then we are with the kenke. We are already on pension. The little that we worked, sometimes 30 years over, it wasn't much. So you put it where you are sure of good returns, and that's government. So if now government too, you cannot rely on them, then I wonder what they expect us to do.
But a 26-year-old man, Azuma Razak, has drowned in a Galamsey pit at Kwewu of Ramase in the Kwewu West municipality of the Eastern region. Family of the deceased, however, suspects he was murdered. Speaking in an interview with our sister station at JoyNews, some relatives of the deceased explained that the remains of their beloved looked as though it had been used for human sacrifice. The family is therefore demanding that the perpetrator of the alleged murder be brought to justice. The unfortunate incident has led to unrest in the community. According to the youth authorities, including the chief, are to be blamed for the illegal mining activities in the community. The youth destroyed some property of illegal miners and have asked them to leave the community. Chief of Kwewu of Ramase, Nana Efrifayamwa, has pleaded with the youth in the community to keep calm rather than resort to any violence. He says investigations will be carried out by authorities to ascertain the truth. In most commercial minibuses, often referred to as trotro here in Ghana, the traditional method of communication between a bus conductor and a driver has been to tap the vehicle. But the clang sound produced from the beating of the conductor's palm against the vehicle, though, does not only irritate a number of passengers, but also presents some health threats. In his daily search of a decent job using public transport, Emmanuel Odum, an unemployed graduate, was challenged to develop developed the traffic technology. The prototype is aimed at improving communication between a minibus driver and his conductor using a lighting system. There's more in this report.
Well, you probably may have heard this very sound in any minibus known locally here in Ghana as trotro. This very sound is no ordinary sound, but a conventional communication between a driver and his bus conductor known as the mate, as they offload and unload passengers on their way. The sound is produced from tapping one's palm on the metallic gate of a minibus. Although the clank sound is to the passengers' benefit, some passengers argue its intensity appears somewhat irritating and a health threat.
Me, for instance, I've been always complaining about what, even this morning, I was in a car coming from Aputoja to Atonsu, and the way the mate ate the car, I was beside him. I was shocked. So I told that guy that, in fact, they should stop doing that, because if they keep on doing that, it's going to create something unusual to anybody with having a problem with blood pressure or whatnot.
That day no cry. Every cry we okay, but only yes I did. In fact, the day and you bang 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 bang. Every cry also be before, and no beyond the flow. Too much.
Mates should learn to talk than hitting hard on the gate. It's sometimes annoying.
But are there any effects to the bus conductor constantly seeing banging hard on the gate?
For the effects, looking at your palm, I mean, you feel pain, but it wouldn't last longer, because it's not like something that you'll be doing consistently. Yeah, so the pace is there, all right, but it's not a consistent thing.
I get blisters in my palm because of the pains. I sometimes skip work.
We,
the drivers, are sometimes surprised at how they hit the gate. It is sometimes unnecessary. Sometimes some mates hit so hard on the gate for the car to stop, but nobody joins. It's a waste of time for most passengers.
The mate wants to tell the driver that let's stop, someone wants to alight.
An unemployed graduate is changing the narrative.
I'm Emmanuel Odum from Mumford, also known as Jama in the Gumor West District of Central Region.
I completed University of Ghana Bachelor of Science in Agriculture in the year 2012, and I continued to have my national service in Tamale, specifically in Yankpala in the Tolon District. Afterwards, I continued to have my master's in animal science at the University for Development Studies. I completed last year, 2021, November. I was part of NAPCO. Due to the challenges of payment, I couldn't be sustained. So I had to travel down to Kumasi looking for greener pastures. They take action based on what is being told to them. Thank you.
In his daily struggles for a job in Ghana's second largest city, Kumasi, Emmanuel was struck to develop the traffic light, a coinage from trotro and traffic.
I was inspired when I began using the trotro over many years after I've moved from Tamale to Kumasi, and through my job search from Kumasi, anytime that I am going for application and I sit in vehicle, I got the experience that trotro mates and drivers went through.
Traffic is a light signaling tool which uses switches and 3 different colored bulb system to improve driver-conductor communications.
We have the
power source. This is a somewhat, two of them which provide 3 volts to supply the lights. So, or we can also use the USB side, which can be connected to the vehicle if the vehicle has USB side, or there can still be a direct connection from the traffic to the vehicle electrical system, so that it will be able to provide energy to the signal tool.
As a pressing need facing most Ghanaian developers and entrepreneurs, Emmanuel is hoping to advance his technology, but he is disadvantaged by the lack of financial support. For Joy News, Emmanuel Bright Kweku reporting.
And the tool is made up of
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao, Associate Professor at the Department of Finance at the University of Ghana. Professor Vera Fiador is urging business owners to consider a performance-based compensation approach rather than deploy retrenchment strategies as a way of cutting down costs in these austere times. Speaking at a forum organized by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Professor Fiador called on businesses to diversify their operations in order to improve their income whilst minimizing risks.
The Start Right series is an initiative by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to help members of the chamber execute their 2023 business plan on sound footing in the wake of the current economic turbulence. Speaking at the forum, Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Vera Fiador said it is imperative for businesses to map up strategies in these austere moments in order to stay afloat.
In view of the volatility that has characterized the markets, some of the strategies, especially in terms of managing their costs, we would have to do around retrenchment. But like I said in the presentation, the retrenchment has to be balanced vis-a-vis the implications for morale, etc. So most businesses, I think, should work towards performance-based compensation as opposed to be the open, all-out retrenchment strategies that we employ. So to a large extent, yes, we may also need to improve on revenue, and because of the decline in the economy, an avenue may be for us to begin to look at the possibility of diversifying outside our typical, business zones, so that we could leverage on the benefits in terms of improved income, but at the same time minimizing the risk.
On his part, Accra chairman of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nana Ejenim Boaten, says the chamber will position itself to leverage on government import substitution policy to boost the production of goods and services in the country.
Core thing that we want to see this year is to see our members recovering from all the shocks, and as such, we are trying to position members to take advantage of production. Let's see how best we can position members to start producing, minimize importation, or even if we have to import, it has to be the core import, because government is going to roll out a policy, the import substitution policy, whether we like it or not. So if we don't position ourselves to also take advantage of that policy and consider something that we can produce locally.
The forum saw the induction of some new businesses into the chamber.
Now, Ghana's financial inclusion agenda is driving the players in the industry to continuously innovate to keep up. Snapiaba Savings and Loans, for instance, has introduced a new digital platform meant to help SMEs against digital theft as well as strengthen the operations. Prince Apia has more in this report.
In the wake of the speedy growth in the digital financial space, many SMEs seem to be struggling to keep up. Industry players observe the importance of coming up with the right digital solutions to address these challenges. Kwekwe Champon is the head of digital financial services at Snapiaba Savings and Loans.
So this app, we believe it's really going to be critical for the SME growth, because we actually have been able to bring on tools which are going to improve the businesses of the SMEs. One which I would like to mention is the GHQR. We believe strongly that it is a perfect tool, that it's actually digitizing SMEs, providing them with a digital identity for them to actually be able to collect electronic payments through their sales and their various businesses that they do.
The bank has introduced an enhanced platform meant to help SMEs against digital theft, among other things. Mr. Champon says the innovation will also encourage businesses and clients to take their businesses online.
Whilst we do this through banking, we are also able to provide them with very good financial literacy lessons on fraud prevention, because one of the key things that we realize that has been a bane for most of our SMEs is the fact that they have a lot of pilfering and petty theft going on in their businesses. So we are providing lessons which is going to help them guard their businesses against such things. And again, another crucial topic that I also want to mention is that we are also even introducing topics about how they can take their businesses online. So
Mr. Champon says the innovation will also provide digital literacy education to businesses and clients.
This app, I must say, for me, it's a true innovation. From all that I've seen in the market, it's unique because the app actually blends education and banking. We are providing financial literacy training on the app, as well as giving the customers the opportunity to actually bank on the app as well.
Prince Apia reporting.
And that's business, and news continues after this break. Do stay tuned.
That's how we wrap up News Desk this morning. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. There's updates of all the developing stories.